What's up? Welcome to another episode of Developer Habits. And today we are going to continue building the Developer Habits blog. Now, if you haven't been here in those sessions before, then basically in this series I am building the Developer Habits blog. And by building, I mean we design it, we write front-end code to it, we connect it to a backend content management system, and finally try to get it live. This is the second week's fourth day, and just as a background, the first week was about designing. Now this week has been about writing the front-end codes, and the last week or third week will be about backend implementation and connecting frontend to the backend. And in case there's a need, we'll also be doing a fourth week with those smaller parts. So far, I haven't been able to implement everything I want to during the streams. So when I have gotten stuck or there are things I haven't thought about, then I just move over them during the streams and just implement those things by myself. But I try to make sure that in the next stream I will show you what I've done. And also, if you don't know, then there is this, let me show you, Developer Habits front-end public project. This is actually the same project I'm building here. So if you want to learn how I've done something, or you want to contribute, want to make suggestions, then GitHub is the place for that. So in that sense, it's also a community open sourced project. So regarding the technologies, we are using ReactJS and Gatsby.js on front end, and StrapiCMS, which is a NodeJS based headless CMS, will be our content management system. And I haven't decided on how we are going to deploy the page, but probably the CMS will be hosted in Heroku, and well, the static pages generated by Gatsby will be deployed using Netlify, which I haven't used before, so it's quite new to me. Anyways, just to give a brief overview what we've done so far. So this is the design itself. This is the landing page, as you can see. Some components here, and then there's also the article page. Obviously, a blog must have more subpages, but those I won't be doing during the stream. But as said, you can check them out in the GitHub project once they are ready. And what we have done so far is, well, this is now the actual web page. And so we have implemented the header, we have implemented the feature article. Yesterday we implemented the latest articles cards, and today in the morning I also used that code I wrote yesterday and also created the featured articles page. And as you can see from the background, it's different from the white background. So nothing like too fancy here, but I am still like going over it quickly. So regarding sections, because I wanted to have sections really composed in that sense that are reusable. So as you can see, the whole layout consists of different section classes. So I did some magic here. Basically, as you can see, each section has a section transparent or section colored class applied to it. And why we need that is because if there are two transparent or white sections following each other, then we want to we don't want extra padding like we have here for this colored part, because otherwise the padding would be too long. And I did this really simple but yet really neat trick using CSS, where I just said that if there are two transparent sections after each other, then padding top for the second one will be 0, and also that should be done for the color part. So I can actually demonstrate it why it's needed. So I'm gonna go to index.js. Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. Woo! Yeah, that's good. I'm not sharing the screen. I've been talking all this time and I didn't share the screen. Well, anyways, I'm gonna go really quickly again over what I spoke about. I guess this is the negative part of not having viewers. That will change. Anyways, this is the design I was talking about, the blog design. Today we are going to build the subscription box, so that part here. And what we have built so far is, well, what you can see here on the screen. And I was talking about those blocks. So basically when we have two white blocks or sections after each other, then we're gonna remove padding top from the second one, because otherwise the padding top would be too big. And actually the same thing has to be done for the colored ones, because, well, here's a good example. The padding is too big. And how we're gonna tackle it really easily is that we can have a CSS style for section saying that if there are two elements with the same class right next to each other, that they're following each other, then we're gonna say that padding top should be 0. So I'm gonna add section colored here also, and basically what I'm saying is that if there is a section transparent following a section transparent, then the padding top will be 0. And we can check it out easily. So now I applied the style for the colored section also, and you can see that for the second one, for the section colored section, padding top is 0. Nice. Oh, and one other cool thing, this text problem that I had, I built like a really fancy JavaScript component for that to apply this offset background. Well, there's even an easier solution. I'm just making use of linear gradient. So it's 180 degrees, the gradient. It's transparent from the top, and like the transparent part takes 70% of the height, and then we apply a color for the bottom part of the gradient, and it doesn't have any blur, so it's like the value for blur is 0, and that's how it works. Cool. And the best part of it is that it's scalable. We can use dynamic text. We don't need any JavaScript here, so it's quite neat. CSS only. Yay! Anyways, what we are going to build today is that subscription box, and let's dive into it. We're gonna need another how to put it, section, and this section will also be colored, but it's gonna have a different background. So we should really, let me think. Okay, I'm gonna just create the mock structure, and then we're gonna think what next. So I'm gonna create the section, and the section has, actually the section doesn't have a title, but it does have background, and the color for the background is color. I should have a color here. Color light gray. So that's the one. Let's see what it looks like. And yay, we have a section. But as you can see now, there are different kind of colors here, and I just removed the padding top. So I'm thinking how to solve that one. I'm giving a background color to section, and at the moment I have a rule that if there are two colored classes, then they the second one shouldn't have a padding top. But what if the background or class name would be actually the background color? Something like okay, I'm just gonna try something out. I'm gonna make it so that we have the color actually in the class name. So maybe that would work. Let's see. Section colored. Section and section and background. So like that. And then we can have I'm not even sure if it's possible, but let's try. Props.background props and props to backgrounds. I haven't done it before, so but in theory it should work. Let's see. Section colored. For some reason it doesn't quite work. Or does it? Yeah, section. Okay. What if I had two sections with the same colored backgrounds? Would it work? At the moment it doesn't. Sections are oh yeah, because I have the incorrect class name. So it should be something like I know it's a bit messy, but I just want to see if it works. And if it does, then we're gonna think how to implement it properly. So section wrapper. If it has a background, then we apply this class. But it doesn't seem to work. It's quite a nasty logic I've written here. But what if I don't even know how to approach it correctly at the moment. So I'm just like trying. They have the same classes, but for some reason the background doesn't get applied. So we give it the property called background. We could like make some kind of map, like section gray, section whatever there is. But I would like it to be more dynamic. That said, I don't want to engineer that part. So let me think. If the section is basically what I'm trying to do is if there are two sections with the same color, then it shouldn't we shouldn't get the padding top. I didn't think something like that would become a problem. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can just get the style itself to work. Like using this props logic to target the class. So what I'm trying to do is, if I can get section, props.background, and it should be like using template literals here. If there's a class like that, then we do, I don't know, opacity 0.5. Just trying to see if we can target the classes like that. But it seems it won't work. For some reason. What if I do it like that? Props.background, props section colored. I'm trying to understand the logic here. Let's also give it a class of section colored. Okay, it seems like we cannot target classes or HTML elements like that. Not sure why, because it should transpile the JavaScript to the correct selector. lol, old school. But okay, I'm gonna do it other way then. We're gonna do it so that because we know we have basically mapped those colors here, right? So we can build some kind of map of colors. At the moment I'm gonna do it like really simply. I'm gonna do it like that. So basically we are going to check what background is and then grab the color name. So what I'm gonna do is const color to name, and it's just a simple object where the key will be the color and the value will be the color name. And I'm gonna do it like that at the moment because it seems the easiest and fastest solution, but I probably need to revisit that part. So I'm gonna grab two colors here. So should work. And now what we can do maybe is color to name, and now we can apply the class color to name, and the key will be background. So we are doing like section color sign light, for example. And in the CSS, what we are going to do, we are going to take those values here and put them to the right place. So firstly I'm gonna add it here, color sign, yep. I'm doing too much copy pasting, it would be easier just to type it out. So it should be something like that. Let's see if the classes get deployed. Yes. This works here as supposed to, but here it doesn't work yet. So if we have section color light, color sign light, which is followed by section color sign light, color sign light, color sign light, then it shouldn't have a padding top. But for some reason there still is. Section color sign light, section color sign light. What am I not doing correctly at the moment? The logic seems to be there. Ah, I had a comma. Did my linter say anything? No. I hope that wasn't a problem before. Nope. Anyways, now it works. I can improve that part, but I'm gonna do it off the stream and later show you. So I'm gonna note it down. Section colors, improve the system. And if you haven't used, then Notion is really great tool for keeping notes, planning your day, planning your projects, and so on. Do from stream. So here I keep a list of things that I have to, that will take longer time. So anyways, at the moment we have this really simple and straight to the point solution of this problem. Okay, and just for the sake of it, I'm gonna add a to-do here also. Improve the sections system. Cool. Now we can finally move to the to this block. So what we basically need to do is one element that has 3 child elements, and then we need to style those elements. So let's do that. The width of that part is, let's see, how much is it? It's about 550 pixels. Because I'm the designer, I get to decide. Yay! So we have a section here, and now we are going to build a subcomponent, and we're gonna name it subscription box or subscription block. It seems I have to convert indentation to spaces. Yes, now it's good. And now I'm gonna define that component because we haven't done it yet. And as the name will be subscription block. Subscription block, yes. And now I'm gonna grade this. Grade it. So I'm gonna steal some boilerplate for my existing components. I'm gonna create a new component, subscription block constantly. Yeah, it's hard to talk and do things at the same time. I guess I've said it like every stream, but I also believe it's a habit that just comes with practice. So the more live streams I do, the better I get. And the more I can talk and explain what I'm doing actually. Subscription block. Cool. Let's remove the curly brackets at the moment because there are no information passed in. Okay, I'm gonna leave that as our basis at the moment. So, and index.js is screaming at us. I mean, it was because there was no component, but now there is. Yes, so now we can start building this subscription box. Firstly, I'm going to create the wrapper for the component, and let's call it really simply subscription wrapper. Let's call it styled div. It has a width of 100%, but maximum width will be 600 pixels because that's what the design says. So it's like I'm gonna measure it once more. 558. Whoops. That's why I remeasured it. I'm gonna make it 550. It's a beautiful number. I'm gonna make it display flex. As the items inside are they are just one after another, so it's like a column. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna keep it display box block instead, and that's it for the wrapper. It doesn't even need any padding, I guess. Not at the moment, at least. So let's put it into our React component that we export and write hello in Estonian. So now what we can do is, well, we also need that content centered, right? So we need to have it, we need to give it margin 0 from vertical parts and auto from horizontal parts, because, well, margin left and margin right auto will center your block element in CSS. Then we're gonna need a title. Yay! And as we already have this text component called inline background, that will do all the heavy lifting for us. So I'm gonna type in an h3. I'm gonna use inline background. I also need to import it. Import inline background from, where do we import it from? Same folder, text and typography, yep. And we're gonna import it like that. So now we should have the inline background here. Let's see. Yay, it's a small one, but it's there. So I think we need to create a new, oh, actually the style is the same as for H1, so maybe I'm gonna just steal H1 styles from typography. But it has like H1 style or tag, so I'm gonna rename it actually to title big, and it will be a span instead. So now I can use title big here to give it the styles. So we have title big. Not sure I like that solution though. And also we need to do some changes in the header. No, featured article cards. Because we don't have H title anymore, we have title big. Let's change it here. But now I need to create another style component, because title big needs to be, okay, I don't even know how to do it now. It's basically at the moment I would have to do H1 and then have two child tags. It's getting quite big for just a simple title. Like H1 has span, which has a span just for the sake of styles. Let's think about it. Can we combine styles, like styled components inherit styles? So basically, can I take the styles of one component and apply it to another one? Don't know. Let's see what else is there. So this guy asks, create new component and inherit styles from styled components. There are a few options here, using composition, styled components, or with props. The second option is probably what you want, but I'll provide the two options as well. So using composition, we have something. Okay, you could pass in the component. I don't like that solution that much. What about that one? So here you can. Okay, that's the solution I know about. Like you have a button and then you style a button, but fancy is also a button. So, and this is what I do when I don't know answer. I just go read the docs, go read articles, see what others have done. But I don't want to get like too clever here. Because basically we have a style that we want to apply, right? So maybe let's keep it. That's a good question. I don't want to have spans inside spans also, like that's just because we want to have styles. So this is what we have at the moment. Title big. Title big. How can I combine styles of two elements? But what if I did like style div? Then Stack Overflow, they had something, but so basically I guess that's what we have to do. We pass in the base button. In that case I'm just gonna create a h1 like that. Create const h1 title and it's styled h1. Now I wonder if I can do something like this. Title big. and now continue. Oh no, he has just CSS here. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm a bit lost at the moment. I can be honest here. Such a small problem to have again. I'll keep it as H1, and I guess I'm gonna have another to do for myself. So I'm gonna make it H1. It's semantically incorrect at the moment, but I can always change it later. And let's have it like, yeah, like this. So it's H1, and H1 has inline background inside of it. So, and I need a to-do. To-do, turn H1 title into H3. Okay, let's continue. So let's grab this title text from here, and just to be more specific with the to-do, styled components inherit styles. This is something that we want to achieve. Okay, cool. The title looks as it's supposed to. The font size seems to be smaller here, but to be honest, I like how it is at the moment. So 36 pixels, and here is 40, but I kind of like that it's big, because this element is alone, and so it needs to catch the attention. So at the moment I'm gonna keep it like that. And actually turn H1 title into H2, because section titles are H2. So now we're gonna build our input, and for that we're gonna use React Forms. I'm gonna just create this really simple form here, and well, on submit it will have a function called out submit, and inside it's gonna have an input. The input has a placeholder, which is please enter your email. And we also have the submit button. So this is what it looks like. Oh yeah, sorry, not submit, but input. Input type submit. And what does it say? Sign up. So we need to define the function for non-submit. At the moment I'm gonna just make it a really simple promise, not even promise, set timeout, and console log, console.log data sent. Yay! And as it also gets some values, we can console log them out. What else? Now we need to style this form. So let's see. The height of the form is 60 pixels, or the input. So I'm gonna again create styled components. Let's call it text input. It's a styled input. And well, it's gonna have a width of 100%, height of 60 pixels, background will be white. It has some kind of borders, so let's get the border color. I think I haven't used that color before, but let's see. Yep. Color light dark, color light. I'm gonna just call it color gray because it should be darker than the light gray. We can check it from the design. So border solid 1 pixel, and the background will be color gray. Let's import it. Cool. It also has a box shadow. Can I just copy the CSS? Copy CSS attributes. I want to get the box shadow value. Yay, that was easy. So now we have the text input. Also the line height should be, let's make it 60 pixels at the moment. We want to see what it looks like. And okay, I am doing something incorrectly. Oh. Input. Yeah, I don't know what am I doing. HTML basics. Type and text. No, value is submit. So what else are we missing? No corresponding closing tag because I haven't closed that input. I guess the reason why I'm not able to write basic HTML is because I've been coding all day and I'm speaking while I'm doing it. Hashtag striving for mediocrity and excuses. Anyways, let's see, we have our input. Let's replace it with style component. Did anything change? Now we need to play around with it just a bit. Firstly, the font size should be 18 pixels, and we are using REM, so 18 divided by 16. So that's the font size we are going to use. Font size 1.125 REMs. Font family will be Roboto, and font weight will be 300. Now we also see that we need some padding, so let's add some padding. Let's measure it. How much is it? It's 20 pixels from the sides, so let's do it like, let's give it 20 pixels. And it also needs a box sizing border box because we want the values, we don't want the padding to be added to the already declared dimensions, and the outline will be none. So that already looks like a form. Please enter. The background seems a bit dark, so maybe that's, yeah, this is the light gray, I would say. Yeah, color light okay, I'm gonna do something ugly. Color lightest, or because they are both really light, so I don't know how to name them. Color light gray 2. Okay, let's call it color light gray 2. Is it better now? Still seems a bit dark. Did I do something incorrectly? Or does it just seem to me like that? I don't know. I am using the colors I got from Sketch, so it must be okay. I'm also gonna add some margin top to the input. So let's give it a margin top of 25 pixels, actually 30. Yep, 30 pixels from the top. Okay, no, I messed up something. It should be color light gray here, and the background should be color light gray too. So I'm gonna import color light gray 2, and we're gonna pass it in from here. And in section, now this is the part we were struggling with before, so I'm gonna create the map for that color. I already had an idea how to improve the system. You just pass in the color name basically. So that should be better. But I will do it off the stream because I need to think about it a bit more. So let's see how it looks now. Now it's a bit lighter, the background for the section. So we almost have this part ready. So now we need to create the submit button. So let's see. Subscription block, and let's call it const submit button, and it's a styled input. So the styles that we need now, let's see. We have an icon, it has a background. We should already have that color, so let's see. Firstly, I'm gonna remove the default styles. Then I'm gonna also get the dimensions. Okay. Width will be auto, height will be... Okay, let's make it auto at the moment. We may change it. The background color, let's see. I have to take it from the constants. Dark blue. Sounds like the right color. So color dark blue. And I try to keep it so when there is more than one import, then they go on separate lines. So background color will be color dark blue. It probably needs some padding, just a bit, like padding 10 pixels. Display, I'm gonna make it flex because, well, we want to align vertically this icon and sign up text. So I'm gonna set font size to 20, not 20, we're gonna use REMs. So it's gonna be 20 divided by 16, 1.25 REMs. Color will be white. Outline will be none. So what do we have at the moment? Let's see. Ooh, that looks not that good yet. What else do we have? Wait, basically from the text side, this is it. Now we have to tune it up a bit. We need the icon. So I'm gonna export this icon first. Make it exportable. I really like the interface of Sketch. It's quite easy to like export your stuff. So it goes under source, images, and icons. And I'm gonna call it envelope. Envelope. So I have an example of how to, with SVGs in Gatsby you can just import them. That's nice. So let's import this SVG. Import an envelope icon from images, icons, envelope icon. No, just envelope.svg. And let's if I want to have this if I want to have that icon in CSS, then it's gonna be interesting. But let's see if we can use style components. So I'm gonna pass in envelope icon as a property. So also here I have more than 2 props, so I will separate them on different lines just for better readability, at least in my opinion. So we have icon here. Let's see if we can use it. I'm gonna just do a quick test. Background image URL. It probably won't work, but let's try. It works. I mean, that's good. So I can just pass in the icon. And I'm gonna do it actually not to submit button, but submit button needs a wrapper because we have 2 elements here, right? So we're gonna create, and we've had this issue or this part with other things before, like here also we have graded the wrapper element, which has an offset element, and then we have this content. So this is what we're going to do with this icon here also. Let's see. It's quite funny. I'm like building a project, but I'm not able to write simple basic HTML at the moment. Life of being a developer. Anyways, submit button wrapper. It's a styled, let's make it div, and it will inherit most of those styles here. Actually, no. It will have height with auto, height, auto, position, relative. What else? Basically that's it at the moment. And it has a pseudo element that has content. Well, no content, but it has width 100%, height 100%, position absolute. Left will be 10 pixels, top will be 10 pixels, and background color will be color yellow. Black and yellow, black and yellow. Yes, auto imported. And also it needs like display block. So this will be our submit button wrapper. I don't know what my autocorrect is doing at the moment. And here we need position relative. Something's not right. Position relative. So we have the wrapper, which is block. Let's make it inline block. Yep, now it's better. Oh, and border will be 0, outline will be none. And yep, let's make it inline block so it wouldn't span the whole width. Outline on, border will be none. Border will be none. Okay, now it's much better. And now we can also pass in the icon to submit button. And let's have it so we have a before element here. The background for it will be the icon. So props.icon source. Or actually just, and we also need URL tags, background image. There's also content. Width will be like, what are the dimensions of that icon here? Let's make it like, okay, let's make it 35 pixels and height will be 35 pixels. Background size will be contain. Display will be inline block. And it doesn't appear at the moment. Thinking it's because this one is display flex, but if I now remember correctly, then oh, background image is unknown. Icon source, but it's still not visible. Maybe if I remember correctly, then some elements can't have shield elements. Let's see. Is used to style but I really don't remember. Why does it not work? Submit button. We have everything that we need. At least it seems so. If we give it display block, will it work? Is this relative? No, it doesn't even exist, right? Let's Google input element pseudo. Yep, I remember correctly that pseudo elements can only be defined on container elements. Okay, so pseudo elements can only be defined on container elements. Okay, so we can't use that solution. We can make a submit button a normal button in that case. So instead of input, it will be a button. And now we can do it so that value will disappear, icon source will stay, submit button, value will be submit. Let's see now. So now we have a button, submit button. Oops, I removed the pseudo element. Yeah, it seems I'm quite tired today. I make tons of mistakes, but we got it working, which is always good. I'm gonna make align items center, so it should be better now. We also need to apply background repeat, no repeat, and background position center. And I'm also gonna add margin right, like 20 pixels. 20 is too much. Yep. And for the submit button wrapper, I'm gonna add margin top 30 pixels. And there you have. This is our submit box. That went harder than I thought. It's actually not that hard. I should have made it a button from the beginning. I totally forgot that the input elements cannot have cell elements. But now I guess I remember. Anyways, let's add a really simple functionality also. And instead what we can do is just have submit button form submit button. I don't know if I can have inside form just a button. So submit the form using button. So can it be like that? So type equals submit, and let's see if we are getting name, email. Let's see if we get any information. Also, let's prevent the default behavior. e.prevent default, so it wouldn't refresh the page. This is my secret email, and it says data sent, which is nice. And we should also get the values. Event targeted value, handle submit. So basically, I would say we are almost done. We just need now to get the name that was also sent. I guess there's no second param. Let's see. So all the information we have about the form comes from that event. Let's see, React form get input values on submit. I haven't written forms in React before like that, so it's always interesting. I really don't want to use states, but if I have to, I mean, it's also okay. We can just make use of hooks. So let's get use state. So we're gonna use make use of use state. Input or email fields. Set email fields. So the first one is the value, and the second one is the setter. And we can always log out the value. So for the input, we also have more than 2 props already, so I'm gonna put them on separate lines. And here I'm gonna do on change equals set email fields. So let's see if it works. data sent. Oops, I'm not logging out the correct thing, I guess. Let's debug it using useEffect. So I'm going to do so whenever the value of email changes, we can see that. Because now I'm going to pass in the variable that we are going to follow, and that will be email field. And each time when email field changes, we're going to log it out. Email field. So let's see. And I already know what's the problem. On change is an event, but we just want the event to target, I guess. Event target value, actually. Event target dot value. Yep, now it works. So, and whenever you, and now we can actually send this email fields. So whenever I insert my email here, now I can just do data sent, boom. And yeah, we have the subscription box ready now. It took just a bit longer than I expected, because firstly we had the problem with section coloring. We had the problem of inheriting styles, or making styled components inherit other component styles by having a different tag. So that's also something I haven't encountered before. And well, also remember that input elements cannot have pseudo elements. Instead, we didn't make use of input type submit, but changed it into a button. And that's it for today. Tomorrow we are already going to look into the article page. I think we're not going to build everything, because for example this sharing component is just a bit more complex, but we can build the top part, the featured image, and the content part itself. And after that, next week we are already going to look into the backend system. But with that said, guys, I thank you for listening, and if you have any questions about the solutions, or you want to just make your suggestions, then GitHub is the place for that. Thank you for listening, and let's see in the next stream. Thank you and bye.